Hi there, this is Jaden here, and I'll be doing a free SEO analysis for this website. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope this brings you some kind of idea of what to do for your website if you have always wondered how to increase your website's performance for organic traffic. So this video will probably take around 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll be splitting the entire video up into 3 different sections just so you can navigate the video a little bit better. And the first section will be to really go in and find if there's any big issues going on with the site, or if there's any quick wins for the current performance on the website. So that's the first section. Now, after we find that, and if we manage to find any, what we'll do is in the second section, we'll be doing a really quick audit. So if we can find something from the first section, we'll do an audit on that specific page. And if not, we'll just do an audit for the overall status on the website. And then finally, the last section will be giving you some kind of recommendations of what you should be doing next, or you can do next, for you to really bring your traffic up organically. So with that being said, that's all for the introduction. I hope you like this video, and please feel free to speed up the video. So let's get started. Now, as you can see, most of the stuff that I'll be doing here will be live, just so it's a lot more real and a lot more relevant. So first of all, the one thing that I always like to look at is in terms of design first, and I think this site pretty much nailed it. I mean, you guys have done a really good job with regards to the website. I really love the design of the site, and also at the same time, I want to find as much information as I can about this specific product or service, or this website, or this brand, right? So first of all, the design is really awesome. I really like the design. There's not a lot of designs that I see that are this good. So kudos to the designer, man. And one thing that I really noticed is kind of picking out these small little parts. So you can see on the bottom left hand side, I'm looking at the URLs. So I already see, like, for example, this URL, there's a 1 in there. So I typically don't really recommend you having any numerical URLs unless it makes sense. So in this case, Ecommerce -box -1, it's not really ideal, but I'm still trying to see what the overall site is like. So that's that. Okay. Now then, one thing that I like to check is always to take a look at what's the performance of a current website right now, how long the website has been around, and things like that. Just so the more information I have about the site, the easier it is, or the more accurate it is for me to give recommendations on what to do to increase the organic traffic. So firstly, the website has been around for quite some time. It's definitely not a new site, so that's one. And secondly, in terms of organic traffic, it isn't really getting a lot of traffic. And I would assume, because the website has been around for quite some time, this organic traffic will probably be branded searches. Okay, so makes sense. So you can see majority of the traffic, I would say all of the traffic, in fact, is from branded search. So which makes sense, right? So in this case, what does this mean? So there's a few considerations that comes to my mind. So firstly is you can look at some keywords they can go after to really bring in additional traffic other than branded search, because if somebody is looking for branded search, they will ultimately click on your website, right? Because it's very targeted. So when we think about going after new content and creating new content, keyword research is very important. But based off on the current niche that I see this website is, so it's a design and custom package. So it's kind of like a package design sort of business, right? And so it's kind of like a customized package, right? So this is slightly niche, meaning to say it's not as broad as some usual markets that I've seen, but this is a very niche site. So with niche sites, this means to say the keyword research is more important during this phase, because the keywords that you will be selecting will need to match specifically towards your business, because again, with your niche, you need to be very narrow instead of targeting, like, say for example, a keyword could make sense but not make sense. Sorry, let me rephrase that. A keyword could make sense for the market overall but doesn't make sense for your business just because it's very niche. So I hope I can find some examples later on, but I think this is the first initial thought that I have. And this is kind of like the main opportunity because, first of all, the website is not new, which means to say chances are the moment you publish content, specifically content that are easy to go after, or even if it's not easy to go after, I would say somewhat in the medium difficulty realm, you guys will still be able to go after keywords and not start from scratch. So that's kind of the low-hanging fruits, which means to say, as compared to other websites, you know, if they were to start publishing content because of how authoritative their domain is, that's number one, and number two, how new their domain is, or what's the age of their domain. Sometimes when they publish content, it will take some time for Google to understand it and then index it and then ultimately rank it, ultimately getting traffic from it. But for this specific profile, it seems like, first of all, it already has it already has somewhat of a branded search. Second of all, it already has links. Third of all, it's not a new site. It has been around for more than 5 years. So all these are good metrics for indication that when you publish a page, chances are there's a very high chance that your content will straight away get indexed, provided you submit your newly published content onto Google Search Console, and you'll be able to see that kind of results coming in faster as compared to the profile that I mentioned earlier, you know, where it's a new site and stuff like that. So that is kind of the main opportunity, I would say. So now with that out of the way, right, the next thing I want to go into, it's really towards the second part, which is the audit part. So with auditing the current site, just based off on the relevancy that I've mentioned earlier, right, the one thing I want to do is I kind of want to figure out within the next section, I want to figure out what are the kind of keywords that I can go after. And before I go on to that, just because I know this is a Shopify site, usually Shopify site has some of a similar pattern. Let me just see if, yeah, so this is not a big site. Okay, so this is a, okay, so this is really not a big site at all, and there is no content at all. So there's some subdomains here. Okay, so this is interesting because I do know that the website has different pages, but all these pages are still okay. So this is an interesting one. So the reason why, you know, when I was on the site, right, you can see all these are links, right? So product box, e-commerce box, shipper box, mailer bag, right? But all these are broken links, which is not good at all. So these are not good at all. Okay, and the reason why I'm able to find this is because when you do a site colon search like that on Google, so you can't see that right now because my screen is cut into half. But basically, when I look at the pages, I'm supposed to see a lot more pages like this appearing on Google Index, but somehow they are not. And that's why I did a search and it's actually not being indexed. Sorry, it's not being, this page doesn't exist in the first place. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so my question is, why is the page not found? Huh. Okay, interesting. All right, then in this case, the first thing I will do is really to change the links. Yeah, it's really to change the links. Because this is, whether people are searching for a brand or not, this is definitely going to decrease, is a big issue. So early on, like I mentioned, within the analysis, I want to find a major big issue. And then, you know, if not, then I want to find a analysis. But you can see over here, these links are not working. So these are the first things that I will fix. And yeah, let's see what's the difference. Pro. Yeah, this is a big issue. Yeah, so you want to get this fixed. Custom package, custom code. So all the other links are fine. It's just these links are not working. Yeah, so you might want to, the first thing I recommend is to fix these first. Yeah, so this is interesting. So let me see if I can find any more. Fatbox early access, Fatbox early access, mailers. So these are subdomains. Okay, so this is this kind of like landing pages. Yeah, this is a landing page. Yeah, for people to get early access. And how long ago was this page? I believe it's 2020. Okay. So then this is interesting. Let me go and take a look at the links. Because what I suspect, it could be a drop domain, and then it was, yeah, and then it was picked up. Yeah, so this could be a drop domain. Creative resource for any production need. Yeah, this seems like it's a drop domain though. You know what? I'm just gonna do a quick check. Just to see if, you know, this is a redesign page that isn't working, or this is a drop domain that you guys have redirected or took over the domain. So let me see if it's the same company. Yeah, so okay, I get it now. So yeah, so this is a drop domain, right? Meaning to say, you know, previously before that, the reason why it has gotten like the traffic and stuff like that is it was because you guys did you guys bought the domain over and essentially rebranded the entire thing. So this is a new site, okay, which means to say I will understand now why you guys this website doesn't have these pages done up yet, because this could still be in marketing, which is still alright, right? Which is still alright. So this makes sense why the links are not working. Now, if this site is designed and it's completed, it's developed, 100% is done, then you will want to make sure to fix these links. If not, then I will understand why these links are broken. Now, then I can move on to the next thing which I want to talk about, which is getting traffic from organic, highly qualified traffic. So the way of how I would think about this is there's a few things. Firstly, early on, like I mentioned, it's very niche. This market is very niche because we're talking about packaging, customized packaging. So the keywords that we need to select will be very, you know, we need to pick out the keywords that we will be going after, right? We spend a little bit more time with, you need to spend a little bit more time with keyword research to pick out the correct keywords. So some of the ways that I could do it, I can think of two ways. The first way, it's really to come up with a list of seed keywords. So seed keywords meaning to say from the top of my head right now, what I can think of, I will just list it down, right? So let me just try to list it down. So first of all, I can think of custom packaging, okay? Customized packaging, okay? And then I can think of what else? One thing that I like to do is you can just plug this into Google and see what Google recommends you. Okay, and then I just like to go down, custom packaging suppliers. Okay, and you basically just want to go through this. Okay, you just want to go through this and see if custom packaging for small businesses is okay. Okay, and then I want to do the second one, which is customized packaging. And then just plug that into Google. Okay, so this is awesome because this is a competitor, which is the second method I recommend, which is just go in and take a look at your competitor and see what kind of keywords, whether first of all they are doing well, and second of all, if they have any keywords that you can kind of go after. Okay, all these seems like the same company just from the examples I'm seeing. But okay, so what we can do now is first of all we can just take this. Let's see, cheap custom boxes, packaging box design. This could be one. Okay, so I'm just going to work off from this first. So what you can do is you can plug this into a software like Ahrefs and then go into Keyword Explorer and just basically do a search for US, right? And the reason why we are doing this is because we want to use this as a first off kind of initial research based off on the top of our head to see if these keywords that we think customers will be typing in, are they really getting any sort of demand? So in this case, you can see there are some sort of demand, but the difficulty seems to be somewhat challenging. Okay, so you can see customized packaging, keyword difficulty is 72, 800 and stuff like that. So one thing that I like to do is I like to just go in and take a look to see if these keywords, what are the specific websites ranking for it? Are they websites that are similar to us, or are they websites that are, you know, generic, where they are offering content, basic content or generic content, right? Because if the websites that are doing well, that are ranking for this keyword, aren't in the same business as us, then that means to say this is a viable keyword that you can go after. That doesn't mean that you have to go after right now, but this is definitely one of the keywords that you can go after because your competitors are going after them. And the reason why they are going after them is because, you know, it's getting them traffic based off on the volume you see over here, right? The keyword difficulty is just one of the metrics you take into consideration how fast what is your priority when you are going after this specific keyword, if that makes sense. So in this case, you can see Park Lane, custom boxes and custom packaging. I already know that this is one of the direct competitors, for example, and all these are. And you can see one of them has a domain rating of 33, so not that high, but majority of them are in the links game. Okay, and the reason why you can see it's because the number of domains this page have, and basically the rest of the pages, okay, they have, I would say, a minimum of 40, right? For a domain rating of 3 to be ranking on the first page for this specific keyword, right? So if based off on, so these are the things that you need to take into consideration when selecting a keyword, because even if you choose to decide, even if you choose to go after this keyword, you will have the expectation of, you know, if a domain rating of 3, it's ranking for this keyword, and they have 40 domains linking to it, then in order for you to do that, you have to be also somewhat within this range. So this gives you a correct expectation of what to expect if you were to optimize for this specific keyword, right? So obviously, you know, if your authority is way higher, then the expectation will change a little bit, because then you need to look at the profile, your competitor's profile that is very similar to you. Right, so I'm going to just basically look at all this, and I think all these will be the same kind of websites ranking for it. Okay, so it's loading a bit slow, but this kind of shows the point of how to analyze these kind of keywords, if you will. Yeah, so you can see Papermart, this is another one, Park Lane. Yeah, so all these are the same kind of websites that we're seeing again and again. Right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to try and find lower difficulty keywords if there are any. Okay, and you can do that by, you know, looking at search suggestions. Okay, and then you can kind of look through it. Custom eyelash packaging. Okay, so this could be a relevant one, because if you are doing custom packaging, then ideally there will be custom packaging for eyelashes, custom packaging for, you know, whatever things that you can think about. But if eyelash or wheat, for example, it's one market that you are targeting, then this will be a good keyword, because you can see over here, this keyword has lesser keyword difficulty. Okay, which means to say, if I open this up, chances are I will be looking at two things. The first thing that I'll look at is the number of high authority sites and they don't have backlinks. So that's the first thing that I look at, that I might look at if I'll open this up. The second one that I could be looking at, it's when I open this up, it's going to show me a lot of websites that doesn't have a lot of authority, and they either could have no links or they could either have a lot of links, right? Cool. So let me just open it up and kind of see. And again, you don't want to just look at keyword difficulty as a metric for you to do something. It's a metric for you to gauge something, and then you have to go in and further analyze whether does that keyword difficulty make sense. Because sometimes when the keyword difficulty is low, so for example in this case it's a 17, which is considered considerably low, it still might be challenging, because when you look at the SERPs results and all 10 pages are very high authoritative sites, then it's not an ideal situation for you to go after this keyword, because your website's authority is not at that level yet, if that makes sense. So you always want to do some form of analysis after the analysis. And for some reason, it's taking a bit of time to load. So let me just, yeah. So you can see, again, low authority size. So majority of these are low authority, right? So you can see 31, 31, 10 and stuff. So this is one of the keywords that you definitely can go after. Okay, and the reason why is because you can take a look. This is a domain 10 with only 2 links. This is a domain 15 with 28 links. Okay, and 31 with 8 links. Yeah, so in order for you to compete for this keyword as compared to the earlier keyword that I mentioned, this keyword will be more ideal in a way. Okay, and obviously you can find a lot of other, keywords. You can see clothing packaging, for example, and then longer tail keywords like custom packaging bags for clothing, all of this stuff. So all these keywords are what our thing that you can go after. The second way you want to do it, it's like I mentioned earlier, you can simply plug in your competitors. So I'm going to just plug in one. Okay, you can plug in all at the same time with Ahrefs, but I'm just going to show you one example here. So this is obviously one of your competitors. They are doing really well in terms of organic traffic. You can see their traffic has been, steadily, I would say, over the course of their business lifetime, they have been consistently increasing, even though they have a big drop, but overall they're still increasing, right? And what you can do is you can go in, take a look at what their page is ranking for. So obviously they're going to be ranking for their brand keywords, but you can see like custom shipping boxes, custom mailer boxes and all this stuff. And all these are sorted by keyword difficulty. You can sort them by keyword difficulty. And again, you just want to do your due diligence to check and see if the keyword difficulty really is easy as what they indicate over here. Okay, so these are the really 2 methods that I would highly suggest you do to really bring in organic traffic and ultimately converting them to buy your products on your website. So now I'm going to basically give you a recommendation of what I will do. So first of all, if the site is not fixed or not done yet, it's fine. But if it's already completed, you'll want to make sure that all these links are fixed, because all these links are linking to 404 pages, which is not good for user experience as well as search engines, because they are following all these links to a 404 page, which is not good. Secondly, it's just a little bit of details here. You can see this is a black on black. Okay, it's black on somewhat of a darker shade, so it's very difficult to see. So ideally, you want to make sure that this line pop up. Okay, this line pop up over here, just so it doesn't blend in. Just so this feature is being highlighted, just like what is shown over here. So that's the first thing that I will do. The second one I will do is to basically go after low-hanging fruits based off on the 2 methods that I recommend earlier on, either by seed keywords or with competitors. And that should set you up for a list of content that you should be creating and stuff like that. So I hope this video helps you out. And I hope, with these recommendations, you can really go after and increase the performance for your traffic overall. So that's all for the video. I hope you like what you see. I hope this video brings you some form of value. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. If not, hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much and have a good day.